Welcome back again. This is Fox. As you can tell from the video description, my 243 nuclear power plant project is now done. If you've been following this playthrough, or what little videos there was of it, all I can do is apologise that it has skipped to the end. I'm not going to lie, I neglected this project. I was getting on with my Anno project, my 8.7 million record run. Unbeknown to me, Coffee Stain Studios decided to announce that they were bringing in the next update a change to the Spire Coast, and as you can tell, I decided to build my nukes before they told me this on the Spire Coast, so it needed to get done quick. So if you're coming directly for this video, there is a few videos in this playthrough before this. There was one where I created a coal power plant. It's over at the back there. You can just see the coal power plant in the distance. Those little leg struts beneath the turbo fuel generators. The coal power plants were built to power the turbo fuel plants. These turbo fuel plants were built solely so I could get production of my uranium fuel rods up and running for these nukes. Now there are 243 nuclear power plants in this. 9 clusters of 27 nukes. It is possible to do it with 252, but all of these are overclocked for the sole reason that I wanted it divisible by 9. So this is 9 platforms of 3 nuclear power plants on each, which makes 27 a cluster. 27 times 9 is 243 nuclear power plants. How the hell did I manage to get this done in time, you may be asking? Well, there is one reason for that, and it is a member of my Discord. Big shout out to Swoosh. He's an American, he's a wizard with a Satisfactory calculator, and without him this would not have been possible. I believe we've got 3 weeks or something stupid like that until they bring the update, and then this is all going to be wrecked. That's the reason why I've decided to make this video today. It's not totally finished how I would want it to be done. You can see I've started working on some decorations for the factories over there. Started working on some decorations for the belt bus. I will try and get this done so I can get some screenshots of it when it's all finished, just for my archive. But yeah, for now I really just wanted to get this done. So Swoosh, what I did is I created 1 uranium power plant, 1 nuclear cluster, 1 plutonium processing, turning the nuclear waste into plutonium fuel rods and then ultimately to be sunk. I've done this twice, so I made 2 of these clusters. I could not use a Satisfactory calculator to save my life, so I then gave the save to Swoosh. He copy and pasted these 2 clusters to give me the 9. Painstakingly over about a week he did this, because I'd already made the belt bus. I'd already built, obviously the belt bus was already set up with exactly where I wanted the clusters to be. Did not make it easy for him. There's random space in between these. It's off grid, it's tilted. There's 2 foundation gap there. There's like 1 1/3 foundation there. Don't ask me how he did it. It took him forever. He copy and pasted one with a calculator, and then he had to shift it around with micromanaged, because I created such a ball ache for him, it being off grid. Yeah, cannot thank the man enough. He has enabled me to get this done so I can get the save file to you. So yeah, as it says in the description, this save file is available to download from my Discord. Head over there, join the Discord. If you want to add into the spaghetti spreader role, be sure to hit me up when you join over there so I know which role to give you. Yeah, there will be a lot more Satisfactory videos when I finally move house and stream, which I keep saying it's very soon, so I'm not going to. My house sale has fell through twice now. It's an absolute joke, this country. But yeah, big ups to Swoosh. You're the man. He's the reason we've managed to get this done. We're going to have a quick run through this now. The belt bus ultimately brings all of the belts in. Everything is split equally 9 times. Everything is sent off to its 9 individual production facility. This one here, uranium fuel rods. There is a video on this. There'll be a link in the description to that, or just check over my playthrough, the Satisfactory playthrough. I'll cover the uranium fuel rod production in great detail. I did use the alternate recipe, which was the alternate uranium fuel unit. It uses encased uranium cells, electromagnetic control rods, crystal oscillators and beacons. The encased uranium cells are being made here. These are alternate infused uranium cells. It uses uranium, silica, sulfur and quickwire. We are using all of the uranium on the map. 2,100 uranium to make as many uranium fuel rods as possible. If you want to make enough to feed these 243 or 252 if you like, you have to use this recipe, the alternate infused uranium cell. So they're being made there. Beacons and everything else, crystal oscillators, is all being made down here. Got basic refining, we've got K-Tium ingots, quartz crystals, steam copper sheets, copper ingots are over here I believe, iron, everything comes in on the giant belt bus. For the uranium fuel rods we need iron, copper, quartz, sulfur, limestone, K-Tium and yeah, that's it. No coal needed because I used the coke. I used the coke recipe, whatever it's called, petroleum coke. Turns heavy oil residue and petroleum coke. The byproduct of polymer resin is then being used to make rubber. Yeah, I'm not going to go over this too much because I say it's already been done in a video. Once the uranium fuel rods have been made, everything comes up this spire. There are 9 manufacturers making uranium fuel rods. Each one of those manufacturers corresponds to its own belt. Looks like we've got a problem here. Don't know why this is full. We'll check it out. Always something needs tweaking when you're doing a project this big. They're working. This must have just been the first cluster that I turned on, so it's got a backup. But yeah, ultimately the uranium fuel rods come up. They are on these belts at the bottom. Each manufacturer is split into 3 and is powering 3 nuclear power plants. Water, the same. Water comes up the back here. These are overclocked because they wanted to be free. They wanted to be 28 per cluster or something, but I did 27 to make it divisible by 3. Each platform of 3 nuclear power plants needs 4 water extractors. These are all overclocked. I'm producing more water than what is needed, but hey ho. I need 308 per cluster. I need 308 per nuclear power plant. I'm making 600, so I'm massively overproducing on the water, but I would rather have more than not enough. So we've got 1, 2, 3 of these setups visible. I thought it looked pretty cool. The rest is hidden inside here. There's 6 in here. This is going to be loud. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. All identical. All producing me the water what is needed. Each one of these pipes is dedicated to its own nuclear power plant. Its own platform of power plants. So each one of these pipes is dealing with 3 power plants. That was a lie. Each one of these is dealing with its own power plant. But yeah, this process is repeated through the whole factory. When the uranium waste comes out of the nuclear power plants, ultimately what you get when you make nuclear power is new uranium waste. So the uranium waste comes back along the top belts. They are merged together again, all into one line. This then comes down the spire inside, all the way to the bottom. It's then getting shot out, down, and down again. This then gets sent across to its sister factory, if you like. Each production building making the uranium fuel rods and cluster of 27 nuclear reactors has its own building processing the waste. I'm not going to go over this because there's a lot going on here, but suffice to say, we've got sulfuric acid, K-Tium ingots, copper ingots, rubber being made from polymer resin. Same deal, petroleum coke being made from heavy oil residue, which is coming from the oil. Obviously the oil making heavy oil residue and polymer resin. Polymer resin then gets turned into the rubber. Bauxite is being used to make alumina solution and in turn aluminium scrap. Scrap makes aluminium ingots, which then makes aluminium casings. These are being used to make the heat sinks, along with the rubber, which comes from the polymer resin, which is the byproduct of the heavy oil residue. The heat sinks then go to the top. Electromagnetic control rods are being made by stators and AI limiters. AI limiters are simply being made from caterium. The AI limiters are being made by steam copper sheets and quick wire. Yeah, it's all nice and straightforward. The stators are being made by steel pipes and copper wire. It's the standard recipe. Steel pipes are made from the coke steel, petroleum coke, which is being mixed with iron ore to make steel ingots. Steel ingots then are making me steel pipes and steel beams. The steel beams go to the top floor. Nothing crazy going on here. I'm using a couple of alt recipes. A lot of it is base stuff. This is fused quick wire. If you're making quick wire, you should be using this. It mixes copper ingots and caterium ingots to make quick wire. You get a lot more bang for your buck. The the nitrogen gas is being mixed with water and iron plates to make nitric acid. Sulfuric acid is simply sulfur and water. Cool thing about this, if you use the recipes that I have, is that the water that sulfuric acid needs, which is 84 per minute, comes directly from these blenders. These are making the non-fissile uranium. These are making me 14 each. I've got 6 of them, so 14 times 6 is 84 cubic M3 of water a minute. Sulfuric acid needed to make this is 84 a minute. So you don't need to worry about the water, getting the water out of these blenders. It just goes straight to make the sulfuric acid. Yep, non-fissile uranium. I believe this is the... Is there only one recipe for non-fissile uranium? Yeah, so... No, there's 2. Standard recipe. Oh yeah, I didn't have any more uranium, so I didn't have the luxury of using this one. Obviously, we used all of the uranium in the first step to make the uranium fuel rods. So, non-fissile uranium goes into the particle accelerators. It's being mixed with the uranium waste, which comes from uranium fuel rods and the nuclear power plants. This makes plutonium pellets. Nuclear waste is being split in 2 because the particle accelerators and the blenders need it. You need it for the non-fissile uranium and the particle accelerators. Particle accelerators need a little bit more. It would have been like if you split it in 10, it'd be like 6 and a 4 split, but I've just got a basic splitter dividing it in half. I've then got another splitter with an overflow on it, running it into there when the blenders fill up. Yeah, nothing crazy. Well, it is crazy the amount that I've done, but plutonium pellets then come over here. They're being mixed with the concrete, which we looked at downstairs. Wet concrete, plutonium pellets make encased plutonium cell. This is an alternate recipe. Encased plutonium cell. This is a standard recipe, actually. Again, the alternate recipe would have used more non-fissile uranium, which uses more uranium waste, which we didn't have. So, the encased plutonium cells then come to the final stage of production, which is plutonium fuel rod. This uses encased plutonium cells, steel beams, electromagnetic control rods, and heat sinks. Plutonium fuel rod. This is the standard recipe again. Nuclear past pressure conversion cubes. We don't want to be dealing with that. Excuse me. This would need a lot more nitrogen gas, and I didn't want to have to deal with that. I've had to draw it in from so far away. There's about a 2-kilometre pipeline of... Longer than a 2-kilometre pipeline of nitrogen gas to get all of the nitrogen gas here. So yeah, ultimately, they are being turned... All of that work, all of the uranium nuclear waste is being turned into plutonium fuel rods and ultimately sent into the sink to get rid of it, to free it up. So, no nuclear waste. Comes in, particle accelerators, blenders, turned into stuff, ultimately turned into plutonium fuel rods and then sunk. So, as the description says, max power, 0 waste. This is the maximum amount of power you can generate from all of the uranium on the map with 0 waste. Now, each one of these generates just a tad under 2,570 megawatts. You times that by 243. That is 624,510. 624,510 megawatts of power. This does show more than that, but it's picking up the it's adding on to the power that we're making over there, the uranium, the turbo fuel generators. We'll go over there and have a quick look at that before we leave. But yeah, said it before. Big ups to Swoosh. Could not have done it without him. I have started on working on the final look for this. Built this sort of cage section around the belt bus. This is just using pipe beam connectors and painted steel beams. I have started to think about how I want to finish this off. I am going to try and get this done over the next couple of weeks, get it all tatted up, just as I said, so I can get some screenshots to keep for memory for when it's all finished. I suppose I could not update the game until it finishes, but when the update comes out I'm going to want to play it. So yeah, this was my final thought on how I was going to finish it. Keeping the same sort of cross section with the steel beams over here. Bit of glass. Bit of slanted roofs. Nice and symmetrical. Symmetry throughout. I purposely made these factories exactly the same size so I could continue the look and the aesthetics from the uranium fuel rod production to the plutonium fuel rod production. I think it looks pretty cool. The backside I won't be too bothered about. I will just have the walls going round. I want everything to look nice from the front. For now, not much else to see. Apart from its utter madness, it is absolutely gigantic. There's a million buildings here. God knows how many manufacturers there are. There's 9, there's 18 per platform there and another 6. 18 plus 6 is 24 times 9. 216 manufacturers alone. That's without everything else. Probably a similar amount of refineries, constructors and assemblers. Probably 1,000 buildings, 1,000 production buildings. Let's fly fast. We'll take a look over here at the turbo fuel production. You can see the stuff's being dragged in across the map from everywhere. I honestly did not care what it looked like. Autosave, why would you do this? What a dope. Yeah, anyway. Always remember to turn your autosave off when you're recording a video. This game, if you're going to want to load this, I have dialed the settings down to medium. You may have to dial things down a lot more if you don't have a really good system. I average about 20 or 25 FPS when I'm over by the main nuclear production. When I'm out here in the woods it's a lot better, but yeah, you may need to dial the settings down. I do use mods. I use Pack Utility, which enables me to fly, as you can see, and also allows me to build with no cost. I will, before I put the save file across to the Discord where you can download it, I will load you up with a backpack and a hover pack and some turbo fuel and stuff in it. So if you want to have a look around, you won't need to have any mods to do it, put it that way. So yeah, where are we going? Turbo fuel production. This was pretty cool. I really enjoyed doing this. So this was the coal production. This is a little coal setup. Water. Just basic coal power. All this needed to do was power the turbo fuel generators. So basic coal setup. Played with a new clip in and the smokestacks come through the roof. Then turbo fuel. Yeah, everything's modular. Each one of these has got its own production underneath it. So we've got heavy oil residue and polymer resin. Heavy oil residue is being mixed with water to make fuel. Heavy oil residue and petroleum coke. Then goes up to the next floor. Where we are using petroleum coke, sulfur, heavy oil residue and fuel to make turbo fuel. Each one of these is making me 90 turbo fuel a minute. That is enough to power. I can't remember how many there is on there, to tell you the truth. It's been a while since I came over here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So 90 turbo fuel a minute, powering 12 fuel generators running turbo fuel because they run 7.5. 7.5 times 12, fully overclocked. Oh, not fully overclocked. Overclocked to 194.33333. Yeah, turbo fuel. I'll turn all this off now, but I'll leave it running in case you want to get over here. Super cool. 5. 12 times 5. 75. My game crashed. It's crashed. It's probably a good time to end this now if this is crashed. Which it has. Anyway, I'd shown you what you wanted to see. God knows why it started to crash. But this game hasn't crashed on me in forever. But yeah, I've shown you everything I wanted to see. 243 nuclear power plants making 627,000 million megawatts or whatever it was. I hope you enjoyed this. It isn't crashed, it's unfreeze now. As I said, if you haven't already, please give this a thumbs up. Please subscribe. Please follow me on Twitch, link in the description to that. I'm moving house very soon. We'll be streaming. Download the save file, take a look. You've got probably 3 weeks before the spire coast gets melted, turned into crap. Yeah, as always, thanks for watching.